Here comes November 21st when we will put out our final online outturn for the year 2024. This is going to be a nicely peated offering from, you may see Stoisha on the front, but we will give you the grand reveal of Bunnahabhain on the side. Bunnahabhain Distillery, known for their 3 ppm phenolic parts per million phenolic level on their malted barley for their standard distillation. They do offer Stoisha in that 35 to 40 ppm realm, and they even have a heavily peated Stoisha that comes in at 65.
Yeah,
But
right.
because we weren't standing there the day of distillation, because we don't know the malt that went into this, we are using a 35 to 40 ppm ballpark representation of the phenols on this. However, you can clearly hear from Bunnahabhain themselves, this is not 3 ppm Bunnahabhain.
My gosh. Jason. It's so funny, when we select casks, when we do tasting videos, you do your unpeated whiskeys and the casks we selected, they're all top notch. And I'd never kick any of them out of bed for getting crumbs in the sheets, as the kids say. They're all just so solid. But it's so interesting when you pour a peated whiskey and you're a fan of peated whiskeys, and it's like next level. You're just like, oh my god, there it is. And then you could just, oh, relax all your muscles and just get
Yeah.
comfortable.
I think for the last 3 months that we've done, I think you could take our Williamson, you could put it next to our Kalila, you
Yeah.
could put it next to our Bunnahabhain Stoisha, and you would get 3 different peating experiences from the same Hebridean Isle. Like that speaks to me about the expressiveness of peated whiskey, the excitement that I feel for peated whiskey. This is not like the other two. With that said,
Right.
our Williamson didn't have one aspect that I expect from the Lefroy distillery. This is always the zig where others zag. It was missing that kind of pork crackling note, that pork skin kind of note.
Mhm.
This Stoisha opens on smoky bacon crisps for me. It has the smoke, it has the bacon, it has the crisp fat happening here. Like this, to me, if you give me this blind, that note would have had me going down a Lafroig distillery path
Yeah. Yep.
because that's a note that I always associate with the Lafroig distillery.
There was
Oh.
one year, I don't remember the exact year, but I remember being on Isla. It was late August, early September or so, and it was a warmer day.
Hmm.
Especially for Isla, right? When it gets warm on Isla, you take notice, right? And it was warm and it was rainy, and it's that petrichor. It's like as the rain starts to evaporate from the street and you see some of the vapors coming up,
Yeah.
like a warm, rainy day on Isla in a glass. How cool is it when a whiskey can take you to its point of origin?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. There's a minerality with
Yeah.
the salt. Maybe even like sea rocks. It could even be
Yeah. Yeah.
the salt meeting the minerality. My
It's a
gosh.
like a bit of a cold, dusty kind of thing, like a yeah, just like a bag of coal and gets kind of dusty.
I
That's
had to
nice.
check for a second.
Go ahead.
We've gone we've gone ex bourbon focused in the November outturn,
Hmm.
and here we have refill bourbon, which I say it early, I say it often. I'm never going to tire of saying it. Isla in refill bourbon is the style of Isla I want to be drinking when I take my last breath. That oh, is a special representation of the distillate from Isla. Oh,
The
10 years.
palate. the palate on first sip was my grandma Betty's brisket growing up. It's
Mm,
roasty and it's
mm,
meaty, but then
mm.
there's a sweetness as well to it. It's funny, like I'm gonna try to jam together two different notes, and I don't know if it's gonna work, especially given, brisket is a very Jewish food and honey baked ham is not. But I get that meatiness and the sweetness from brisket, but then there's almost this like pineapple syrup sweetness, warm,
Mm.
just to top that.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
I don't know.
For me, 2024 has been maybe the second half, maybe all of it, such a mezcal year for me.
Huh.
And I get this bright vegetal spice happening, right? And I love that kind of feeling of, oh, this is familiar. You know as well as anybody, when I first got to mezcal, I was like, this smells like hangovers and bad decisions.
Hmm.
And now I've got such a comfort from it. I'm still learning, I'm still exploring, but
Sure.
this has a quality to it that I very much appreciate in mezcals. But how warming, how enveloping, how comforting to have the spirit evolve in such a way that
Yeah.
it does this.
Yeah, I love what you're saying there. The connection to
Mm.
mezcal and sort of the vegetal quality is, it can't be mistaken. At the same time, I would argue people who dig Lechig and some of that
Oh,
funkiness and like, and here you are, like the Lechig guy, right? If our good friend Travis Williams is a Kilhoman guy, you are a Lechig guy. If Jess is a Westland person, you are a Lechig person, right?
well, she's
Um,
she's also Bunnahabhain.
and that's right, she's Bunnahabhain. But
Absolutely.
there's this like sweet pickled onion thing going on that's a perfect
Mm,
thread
mm.
from nose to palate to finish that I
Oh,
love. And
mm.
besides that, there's one note, an official note that we wrote for the palate, which was freshly plowed earth
Yeah,
explodes
yeah,
across the
yeah,
tongue,
yeah,
right? It's just
yeah,
like the sweetness, the earthiness, the saltiness, like it's all there and it's doing all the things.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And still with oak kind of working its way in and out. Like it's not completely absent even for a refill cask.
Despite the color, right? I mean, if we look at the flavometer here, we've got oaky
Oof,
as a 4. I mean, granted, smoky is an 8, but oaky is a 4, and we got a bit of spice going on. The earth is there for sure.
yeah, that's a different experience from Isla. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I want to read the truncated tasting notes here that are
Please.
present on the label. So it says a very physical experience. I love that, very physical experience. The nose, throat, and tongue all experience different aspects of this whiskey. There's more oak spice than you'd expect from a refill cask. What a wild ride of a
Yeah.
whiskey,
When you start throwing around Lecheg, you know you're dealing with a wild ride of a whiskey. Um,
right?
all of those qualities for $100. Like that is a very, very tight package with a
Right?
beautifully presented bow on it.
Yep.
That's going to be a great experience. What's our outturn? Turns his own label. Oh,
So,
262. Lots of love to
yep.
go around.
So 10 years old, 57.7% alcohol, 262 bottles at $100 for single malt Isla whiskey. Again, what is our remit? We bottle drinkers. We bottle things that are meant to be opened and shared.
Yeah. And our first Stausha for the nation online.
And our stir spoishta, our
Yeah, well done.
first stoisha. Thank you.
And a happy new year. All right. That's it. We've closed out 2024. That's all the e-commerce online releases that are fit to send out to the nation. Go forth, purchase, share, evangelize, talk about the nation. hopefully everyone has been a banger in 2024. The final release, no
Mhm.
exception. Cheers and
Cheers
Happy
to
New Year.
yours.